Hey people, it's good. I actually read some of your comments in my latest video, and here is my reply. I'm going to be reading and answering some of your comments. So you really brought up a good point because it makes sense. We need more history of the Otsutsuki and where they come from and what their main goal is. I really hope they actually go into depth with it in the manga because we still don't know anything about them. That is true. I do wish that we would get a lot more information about the Otsutsuki, and I feel like in the next chapter that's about to come, I believe it's chapter 45, we are about to get a little bit more information about Jige and Ishiki Otsutsuki, as well as I don't know what their main goal could possibly be. At the same time, I feel like the Otsutsukis have been too much of a main focus, just like the Saiyans have been a big focus in Dragon Ball in general. Now it's all about the Saiyans. I don't want that to happen with Naruto and Boruto. I want them to introduce us to, if they're going to do aliens, I want them to add other species out there, because the Otsutsukis have been traveling, collecting chakra from other planets, and it has been hinted in the novels that actual life forms do exist out there that the Otsutsukis have battled, or else how would they have become strong, and how would they have discovered how to fight without having anyone to fight. So it says, good theory on having Itachi's powers to seal away karma, but why didn't he just use that against Kaguya instead of the seal given to them by Hagoromo? I don't think Sasuke has the blade of Totsuka or sealing sword. I would like to say that it's simply because Itachi used it against the fight with Nagato to help Naruto and Bee out, but he also displayed the Amaterasu, which then again Kabuto made Itachi that way, just like how he brought Madara back with the Rinnegan and added Hashirama cells. I still think that the only power he gave Sasuke was the Amaterasu, nothing more. Well, here's my response to that, right? Here's the thing, and there are people in the comments who actually have disagreed with me. I mean, look at this comment here. It basically says, I usually agree with you, but no, I refuse to believe Sasuke has the blade of Totsuka and Tsukiyomi. That is stupid, and he would have used it already. Sasuke has his own Mangekyo ability in the form of Inferno style. You're basing your information off the data books, which have been proven to be completely asinine statements, like Hebi being stronger than the Akatsuki, etc. Right? So here's my response to that. So first of all, does Sasuke have the blade of Totsuka? My logic on that is he should do, right? Because think about it. Okay, so now let's look at a few facts here to see whether this makes sense or not. Okay, so Danzo, a non-Uchiha, was able to take Shizui's eye and use Kotama Tsukami with no issues at all, right? Itachi was able to use Shizui's other eye to cast Kotama Tsukami upon himself, right? So Kakashi was able to get Obito's eyes and use Obito's ability that the eye contains. After he got both eyes, he was not only able to use Obito's techniques, he was able to achieve the Susanoo and use the special abilities that come with the Susanoo, right? So all that being said, it has basically been established, right, that if you get the eye, you get access to all the powers that come with it. With that being said, okay, if Sasuke was to take out his own eyes and put Itachi's eyes in his head, it should logically make sense that once he has transplanted someone's eyes inside his own head, he should be able to use the techniques. And Uchiha implanting another Uchiha's eyes into the head allows them to use the techniques. Look at when Madara stole Obito's eye from Kakashi and he put it into his eye socket. He was able to use the Kamui easily without any difficulty at all. Anyone who transplants a dojutsu into their eyes can use the power. Nagato had Madara's Rinnegan. He could use all the abilities, right? Only problem is he couldn't handle all the power. So it has never been stated that he had limitations in terms of the techniques that he could use. The only limitations were his ability to handle the powers. He only did one Shibaki Tensei and he basically nearly died. So yeah, he clearly cannot handle the power, and Shibaki Tensei is not even the most powerful technique that can be used with the Rinnegan. Obito himself admitted as well that the Rinnegan was too much for him. The thing is, he had less chakra than an Uzumaki, right? So therefore, him being able to just only use one eye is all that is sufficient for him in order to be able to fight. So yeah, you can actually use dojutsu that you implant, and all the techniques that come with the dojutsu are available for you to use. So I think it would be absolutely preposterous for a person to say that Sasuke implanting Itachi's eyes does not give him the blade of Totsuka and all the other special abilities that the Susanoo come with. Kakashi used the special techniques that come with Obito's Susanoo, meaning that once you inherit the eyes, once you have the eyes, you can use the techniques of the eyes and any special ability that comes with it, right? So Sasuke implanted Itachi's eyes into his own eye sockets. Therefore, right, he should have, using the logic that I just explained, he should have the blade of Totsuka, which is an ability that comes with Itachi Susanoo, right? And he should be able to use all of Itachi's techniques. Just because he didn't use them doesn't mean he doesn't have them. Think about it, right? Just because Obito didn't use Susanoo doesn't mean he doesn't have it. It was always there, right? He just needed his other eye in order to use it. Just because Sasuke, when fighting Naruto, didn't use all the Rinnegan techniques doesn't mean he never had it. So they were always there. He just decided not to use it. Now, I think in a battle, what happens is that how a battle unfolds is based on how the mangaka decides, to write the story. If they don't want a certain jutsu to be in there, they won't, put the jutsu in there. Say, for example, let me give you this example. When Sasuke was fighting Naruto at the final battle, right? He tried to use, some chakra from the tail beast, but he couldn't do it because he ran out of chakra. So then, at the last moment, he managed to, suck some chakra out of Naruto's body in order to, use Chidori. Instead of doing that, he could have actually used that chakra to summon the tail beasts, take more chakra, and then gain the upper hand. But for some reason, he stupidly chose to use, Chidori. And because of that, he actually lost the battle. Had he done what I said, he would have won. But he didn't. Reason why is because the author wrote it that way. So that's just basically the answer right there. The reason why he's not using any of these techniques is because most likely the author did not want him to use these techniques on these people. Because there are loads of techniques that Naruto has that he should be able to win fights with, without a doubt, but he doesn't because, it gets to the point where authors write and give characters so many powers that they should technically be impossible to beat, but at the same time they lose anyway. So yeah, with that being said, Sasuke's Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan is a merge of his own pattern and Itachi's pattern, showing that both powers are operating in the eye socket at once. The Susanoo of Sasuke even changed form, showing that both powers have been merged. That was the whole point. So it would make absolutely no sense that Kakashi and Nono Uchiha is able to use the Susanoo and the Susanoo special techniques, and for some reason Sasuke is not able to use Itachi's special techniques. That would make no sense at all. The only reason why he would have never used any of those techniques is because, first of all, you have to think, right, the Susanoo is not fast enough to beat Kaguya, right? Or any other, high-level villain that Sasuke has been facing. Second of all, the sword has to pierce you in order to seal you, right? So, him, not using it against Kaguya would make perfect sense. He would first have to hit her with it, pierce her with it, and then seal her. And that is not really effective if your target is smaller than you and faster. So that kind of makes sense. And lastly, I would like to say the only reason why some techniques are not used is because the author does not write them like that. That's just how it goes. I think the horn form is the actual form of the Otsutsuki, but the body that the form has taken over isn't the original body. So I think, yeah, I kind of agree. I think basically what is happening is it's similar to the Edo Tensei, right? Where they just take over a body, and as time progresses, the body starts to change till it finally looks like the Otsutsuki that took it over. I feel like Jigen, his body or his face is not exactly what he looked like before Ishiki took over. So I think as time is progressing, he's starting to look a little bit more like Ishiki Otsutsuki. I mean, if you look at both of them from behind, they kind of look similar. So maybe that is exactly what's going on. Click on the left for videos that prove that Momoshiki is alive and how the planes of the Boruto universe exist, and then click on the right for more information on Ishiki Otsutsuki.